want to sit down with you guys today and talk to you about the last 2 years of transformation in my life, all because of the Starch Solution. Let's get to talking about the Starch Solution and my 2-year anniversary, where I came from and where I am today. In life nowadays, we like instant gratification. We want something to happen right away. We want change to happen right away. But it takes time. A lot of things take time. And I have always said that I got to 152 pounds not overnight. So it's going to take me a little bit longer to reduce the weight. It takes time. It takes consistency. It takes some willpower within ourselves because the world around us is distracting. It's distracting. So what did I have to do? I've had to take matters into my own hands to make change for myself. And that's exactly what I did. I hope that this video gives you hope and it gives you inspiration for what life can look like for you. There's so many diets out there, there's so many lifestyles, there's so many directions that can play a part in the time that we have. But we each have to find out what is going to work for us. And for me, the Starch Solution has changed my life in so many amazing ways. And I want to share that with you today. Wow. That's the word that comes to mind when I think about the last 2 years of my journey being on the Starch Solution. I've learned so much about myself. I've learned so much about health, and I've learned so much about food and the impact that it makes in our lives. So I'm coming to you today because it's my 2-year anniversary to the Starch Solution. I couldn't be more thrilled to do this video and highlight what life can look like for you. I know many of you have been on this journey. Many of you have started and stopped and would love to start again. There's many of you that have had so many ups and downs, successes, failures, and that's okay. We've all been there. We've had to find out what works for us and our bodies. And the Starch Solution is exactly what has changed my life in so many amazing ways. And I want to share with you today and kind of take you down memory lane, how life has looked like. It looks a lot different than 2 years ago. I sit here today in a different home, different surroundings, different priorities, and almost a different human from the looks, but also how I have experienced life and understand what I value now. And it all came to be because of the Starch Solution. My life is forever changed because of the Starch Solution, and I couldn't be more thankful to the Mcdougalls for bringing this to all of us that get to enjoy this. I started my journey June 2020. As you all know, it was COVID, and I had taken many different routes, different diets in the past, and nothing really worked. I was willing to pay, invest money and resources and time to learn something if it were going to work. And I have to say, I was let down a lot until I found the Starch Solution. The Starch Solution really, for me, was simple and was definitely doable. I was already vegan since 2016, but once again, I was eating nuts and seeds and splurging and eating vegan food and eating the wrong foods. What I quickly found out is I needed to fuel myself with starches and vegetables. And the moment I started doing that, my life forever changed. My body changed and things evolved. And I started becoming active. And I really, really enjoyed the person I was becoming. And as I sit here today, I am so thrilled with who I have become over the past 2 years. So when I started in June 2020, I didn't know what it was going to look like, but I knew I owed it to myself to write myself a love letter and stick to something, to make something work. And I had to do my research, you guys. I was on YouTube. I looked at different books. I kept digging and digging and digging. And I found the Starch Solution. And so I took matters into my own hands and I wrote myself a love letter. A love letter to myself that acknowledged my struggles, acknowledged what I wanted for myself in the future. This wasn't a do this one meal a day. This was consistency. When I brought consistency into my life around food, it was a game changer. I took it a day at a time, a week at a time, a month at a time, whatever works for you. But I literally took it a day at a time. I planned my meals out weekly and I evaluated where I was monthly. And that was really, really important to me. So stay tuned for the end of this video because I am going to be announcing something that I am launching that you can take advantage of to help you get started or maybe stay consistent on your Starch Solution journey. I look back June 2020. I was 152 pounds. And in this video, I'm going to show you what I looked like. Maybe some will say it was a significant change, maybe some will not. But for me, it was a significant change, not only for my body, but also for how I felt in my body. I wanted to feel good in my skin. I wanted to feel good and show up for my family in the best self that I could be, the best version of myself. That was important to me, and that's what I wrote to myself in my love letter. So part of my journey is I had to start documenting my weight every single week. So every Friday, I weighed in. I wrote in my notes on my phone exactly where I was every single week. I didn't get crazy about it. I didn't want to overanalyze my weight, but I wanted to make sure that I was on track and I was keeping myself accountable to what I wanted for myself. That was important to me. So I look back, and from June to December, I focused on food. I made the right food choices. I didn't let little things slip into my diet because I knew I was the only physical person that could control what went into my mouth. So guess what? I took matters into my own hands and I started playing around in the kitchen, having fun with this lifestyle, seeing how I could add in flavors that were yummy and delicious. So that is what I started doing. I started exploring with food, seeing what food could do to my body when I fueled it with the right nutrients, starches, and vegetables. And I had fun in the kitchen, but also I kept it simple. For the first few months, I was eating a lot of potatoes and vegetables. I was eating lavash pizza bread where I would buy oil-free lavash add on some hummus, and have vegetables. That was almost my dinner every single night. I had rice, I had potatoes. I stuck to some staple meals because that was easy for me. And I started also understanding what foods were good for my body. Because once again, I could weigh in weekly and understand where I came from and where I was headed. A lot of you always ask about my weight and how soon it dropped and all of that. So I'm gonna pull up my notes section from the very beginning. I weighed myself June 1st, 2020, and I weighed 152. A week after that, I was 149.2. The next week after that, 147.6. Then in about a month, I was 144.8. Then another week went by, 144.2. July, 141.8. So I had almost lost 10 pounds in 1 month just because I was eating starches and vegetables and removing the fat from my diet. August, I was in the high 130s. September, I got to 137. October, 136. November, 135. December, I went back up a little bit. 136. January 2021, I was about 135. Went down to 134. February, I was staying at about 133. March, went down to 131. April, 128. May, 125. And you can see through this time, I took it a week by week and I just wrote down where I was at. And I've lost about 35 pounds and counting. I always say that because I am always just eating this way, and if I go lower, I go lower. Because Dr. Mcdougall does say, if you continue eating this way, keeping your fat intake low, you will have your optimal weight. Your body will just adjust to what it needs to be based on what you're feeding yourself with high nutrients. So I had fun in the kitchen, I told you. I started working on videos for this channel, and it was merely a hobby just sharing my journey with you all, but also keeping it for myself to see where I was going. And I look back on the last 2 years and I'm filled with joy because I stayed consistent. I stayed true to who I was. And that alone is the most powerful thing that I could have ever done for myself. I took matters into my own hands. I gave myself the gift of figuring out food once and for all. It's made life a little bit more simple. In January 2021, after I just was focusing on food from June 2020 to the end of December 2020, January, my body weight had changed. I felt more energetic. So what did I do? I started moving my body because my body was actually craving movement. And that was beautiful. So I started walking at least 2 miles a day and becoming super active, riding my bike, walking, at least getting 10,000 steps in a day. And that's really when so much started changing in my weight, as I had already stated in this video, is my body was changing. My body was enjoying the food and the movement. And that's where I was able to get lower on the scale. And most importantly for me, it was my energy level. It felt amazing to be outside. And through all of this, I was saying my life changed a lot. My husband and I decided that we were going to move further out of Phoenix to kind of a remote location so I could work on growing my vegetables, being outside more, enjoying nature. And so it's been a transformational 2 years, not only from my diet, but my lifestyle, my home, my surroundings, and I couldn't be more excited about the last 2 years, but also what is yet to come in my adventures around the Starch Solution. My advice to you, no matter where you're at in this journey, write your love letter. Be consistent with who you want to be. Be the best version of yourself. Focus on you. That is not selfish. We have to feel good in our bodies to show up for others. So my wish for you is that you find what works for you to be your most vibrant self. And I would love to be on that journey with you. I am releasing a Starch Solution journal. I have compiled the last 2 years of all the things that I did that impacted my journey on the Starch Solution. And I've created a journal to help you stay accountable to yourself, your goals, and the person you want to be in this life. I hope you will explore this journal and see all the possibilities that are for you. I am sending you so much love and gratitude for the person that you are. It's been so fun to connect with so many of you. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to do this, to share my journey, to be with you every single week with videos, just showing you how I've been able to be successful on the Starch Solution. It's my true honor to show up and be present with you all. Thank you so much for allowing me to do so. If you've enjoyed this video, I would love a thumbs up. I would also love for you to comment and tell me where you are in your journey. It's so important to me that I spread this message around the Starch Solution because it's impacted my life in so many amazing ways. It has given me almost a new life and so many more opportunities. Many, many thanks to all of you. And for my 2-year anniversary today, I am launching my 50/50 bowl. This bowl has defined a lot of my meals for the Starch Solution. I add 50% starches and 50% vegetables. I will have so many each month, so stay tuned. If you didn't get part of the first batch, more will be coming every single month to my online store. I hope to see your photos with the 50/50 bowl, tag hashtag 50/50 bowl. Can't wait to see your beautiful, nutritious meals in your 50/50 bowl.